After King Limhi realized that Ammon and his company were from Zarahemla, and after Ammon had rehearsed all of King Benjamin's words, King Limhi told him how he sent a group of men to find the land of Zarahemla and appeal to the people there to come and rescue them from their captivity in the land or the city of Nephi. But the group became lost and ended up finding another land that was covered with ruins and the remains of men and beasts. And as a testimony of their discovery, they brought a record with them and hoped that Ammon could read them, but he couldn't. King Limhi hoped that the record might tell about the fallen civilization, or at least about a remnant of the people who were destroyed. This brings up an interesting point. Most Book of Mormon readers believe that all Jaredites were destroyed, and this is implied at the end of the book of Ether. But let's read Ether chapter 9, verses 30 through 33. And it came to pass that there began to be a great dearth upon the land, and the inhabitants began to be destroyed exceedingly fast because of the dearth, for there was no rain upon the face of the earth. And there came forth poisonous serpents also upon the face of the land, and did poison many people. And it came to pass that their flocks began to flee before the poisonous serpents towards the land southward, which was called by the Nephites Zarahemla. And it came to pass that there were many of them which did perish by the way. Nevertheless, there were some which fled into the land southward. And it came to pass that the Lord did cause the serpents that they should pursue them no more, but that they should hedge up the way, that the people could not pass, that whoso should attempt to pass might fall by the poisonous serpents. King Limhi might have been familiar with people who already lived in the land before Lehi came. He knew that a people had been destroyed because of the evidence found as explained in this chapter, Mosiah chapter 8. Artifacts, including a record, had been presented. Limhi was curious about a remnant of the people who had been destroyed. Before Coriantumr and Shiz finally duked it out at the end of Ether, random Jaredites migrated to the south before the great battles because of a famine or dearth. So let's read Mosiah chapter 8, verse 12. This is King Limhi speaking to Ammon. And I say unto thee again, knowest thou of anyone that can translate? For I am desirous that these records should be translated into our language, for perhaps they will give us a knowledge of a remnant of the people who have been destroyed, from whence these records came. Or perhaps they will give us a knowledge of this very people who have been destroyed, and I am desirous to know the cause of their destruction. You see, whenever the Lord destroys a people, he has consistently preserved a remnant. He preserved Noah's family from the flood. He preserved Lot's family from the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. He preserved Lehi's family and Ishmael's from the destruction of Jerusalem. He also preserved Mulek and his company from the same destruction. And most recently, in Mosiah, he preserved King Mosiah by commanding him to depart out of the land of Nephi. So there is an overwhelming amount of precedence here. So it is reasonable to conclude that some random Jaredites could have ended up settling the southern lands which Lehi came to occupy later on, and then becoming like heathens similar to the people of Zarahemla when King Mosiah found them, or like the Lamanites who dwindled in unbelief after destroying the Nephites at the end of the Book of Mormon. In the next video, we dive into the history of Zeniff and his company, who thought the grass was greener on the other side when they left Zarahemla to inherit the land of Nephi.